What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you week 3 of season 8 of the CPC, and this week we are up against my good friend Carson, aka Golden Centurion, and his Jump City Hitmonlees, formerly the Venice Shaman. So if I fall back into saying the Venice Shaman at some point, please forgive me. But anyway, before I get into the team, just a reminder that if you guys like this video, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button, as it helps us out a lot, and let's do more cool stuff for you guys. But anyway, onto the team. Like I said, we are up against Carson, and his team is consisting of Kyurem Black, Mega Venusaur, Volcarona, Rotom Wash, Gothitelle, Diggersby, Hoopa Unbound, Araquanid, Smeargle, Claydol, and Honchkrow. You might notice right off the bat that he does not have a single Pokemon over base 100 speed. And actually that was completely intentional on his part. He was just kind of like, you know what, let's just go ahead and do this, see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? And unfortunately, once he just kind of fell into the mindset of, okay, I'm just not going to bother drafting a single Pokemon over base 100, then he was able to get like some of the big, slower threats. Like, I mean, when you have to face a team of Kyurem Black, Volcarona, Diggersby, and Hoopa Unbound, like, switch-ins just aren't really a thing against that team, and then just to have solid support in like the Rotom Wash, a really bulky Mega Venusaur, like Gothitelle for trapping, Araquanid, and Smeargle for Sticky Web. Like, his team is just absolutely terrifying, but one big thing he is missing is the fact that he does not have real rockers. And I say real rockers because I don't count Claydol as a Pokemon in general, and Smeargle is a suicide lead at best. So, I mean, like, his rocks will not be able to stay up very long in this game, as that's going to be an MO of mine early on, is to keep him from having his rocks up early. And that being said, I think that my team definitely can deal with his threats. I mean, for the first time in like forever, I have a real ice resist, and not only do I have a real ice resist, I have two fake ice resists in Greninja and Incineroar. But Incineroar, I mean, if rocks are not up, then it is a real ice resist as well. So yeah, I actually have some ice resists on this team, so Kyurem isn't as big of an issue as it usually is. Volcarona, I have my Mega Aerodactyl for. Hoopa Unbound, I have the counter in Incineroar, and Diggersby, well, I have a Cofagrigus. So I just have like I have a good matchup against his really hard hitters, but he also just has a crap load of bulk, and considering this team does not have the best breakers up and down, it's going to be kind of difficult to break his team. But I do think the combination of like Koko, Arrow, and potentially Jirachi even should be able to do the trick. So yeah, the fact that he is that he does not have a single Pokemon over base 100 is something that I'm definitely going to try to exploit. I'm thinking that Aerodactyl's Dual Stab should be able to do the trick against his team, as the only thing, well, he doesn't even have anything that resists that, like Rotom is very easily worn down. It's very heavily pressured by my team, and yeah, it's an annoyance, but once I can get that thing low, my Mega Arrow should be able to take home the game. So the first mon that I'm bringing this week is going to be an anti-lead Tapu Koko with U-Turn, Brave Bird, Nature's Madness, and Defog with the Aya Papa Berry. And usually Tapu Koko is like kind of a revenge killer, momentum gainer. In this game, I'm using my first overall pick in the entire draft as an anti-lead to Smeargle, Araquanid, and Claydol, and that might seem kind of funny, but the fact remains that if he gets rocks up, my Aerodactyl and Incineroar have a much harder time checking his big threats. If rocks are not there, they don't have to worry about them, they're able to come in more freely and not have to take the 25% upon switching in. So rocks are obviously very big for two of my main switch-ins to some of his big threats, and also Sticky Web. One way to mitigate the low speed of his team is to have Sticky Web. So if I'm just able to prevent rocks, prevent Sticky Web, then Koko will have done its job. And then also Brave Bird is just kind of nice and spammable against his team. It won't do a whole lot to Rotom, but Rotom I can just kind of chip down with Nature's Madness. And U-Turn is for the Hoopa should that thing decide to come in. I should be able to get the clean Oko unless he is running a Tanga Berry. The investment, I mean, Koko just have enough speed. The HP is enough to guaranteed live. And Adamant Araquanid's Adamant Araquanid's Liquidation, and then it puts me into my Eye of Papa range, so I heal everything back up. And so basically, like, whatever Araquanid goes for turn 1, whether it goes for Sticky Web or Liquidation, after a Nature's Madness, I will be able to probably knock that thing out with a Brave Bird, or at the very least defog that away. Basically, my Coco will 1v1 any of his given leads while keeping hazards off of the field, which is the main MO that I'm going for. Next up is going to be my first real Kyuromancer in a long time, and you might have been thinking, okay, we're up against a Kyurem Black. Styx has a Swampert on this team. Swampert's going to be the Kyurem Black answer. Not as much in this game. Because I finally have a real Ice Resist, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to use it to its fullest extent with this Jirachi with Iron Head, U-Turn, Wish, and Thunder Wave. This set, no two ways about it, annoys the absolute crap out of him. Thunder Wave is for the Volcarona. I initially didn't have Thunder Wave on this set, but Volcarona is just too big of a threat that even though Coco is designed to prevent rocks, if somehow he gets them up, I still need to prevent Volcarona from setting up on any mon on my team. I can't just completely rely on Aerodactyl because of that rocks weakness, like it's just too volatile. So my main way of dealing with Volcarona is to just have nothing on my team that it can set up on, or at the very least nothing on my team that it can set up on without taking a status or a very, very heavy hit in the process. Jirachi's way of doing that is with Thunder Wave. Iron Head is for the Kyurem Black, and also for potentially wearing down the Venusaur, and then Wish and U-Turn to be able to just wish up and then also get momentum, heal back, all that good stuff. And like this Jirachi set should be able to live, I believe the investment is to live a Z Earth Power after spikes from the Kyurem. I think that's what I was going for. Next up is going to be a Spadef Swampert, and this might seem very similar to the one that I usually run against Kyurem Black, but this one is more so for wearing down the Rotom while getting up rocks. It prevents Rotom from being able to get Volt Switch momentum on my team while getting up rocks. Like basically, Rotom can 1v1 the Swampert. I'm not trying to have Swampert 1v1 the Rotom. I'm just trying to have it wear that Rotom down so that once my rocks are up, I can keep them up, as they are very, very important for wearing down the Kyurem Black and the Volcarona, among other things. I mean, just like chip damage is always nice to have. Spadef, just nice and Spadef. Stealth Rock, Roar is my way of preventing Volcarona from setting up on me. Toxic is for the Rotom, and Scald is just, I don't know, maybe I can get a burn on something. Next up is going to be my dedicated Hoopa U counter in my Incineroar with U-Turn, Knockoff, Flare Blitz, and Low Kick. Low Kick is for the Kyurem Black, so that I can potentially beat that thing later if I need to, and it can't like try to, like a bulky spread can't try to set up a sub on me or like Hone Claws or something to that effect. Just Low Kick hits the Kyurem Black really, really hard. Flare Blitz is nice and spammable against his team, hits Volcarona hard, and U-Turn obviously is for the Hoopa, and then just a nice and speedy Incineroar with max HP and then enough attack. I mean, Incineroar will OHKO Hoopa regardless. I just was like, I still have 80 EVs left over, let's just throw them all into attack. Next up is going to be my Diggersby answer, because otherwise Diggersby is a huge issue for this team in my Cofagrigus, and this Cofagrigus actually helps me with Araquanid if he decides to go for a more offensive role, but really, this Cofagrigus, I don't want to bring it, but unfortunately Diggersby is such a threat against me that I just it's kind of one of those like, whatever, fine, I'll just go ahead and bring the Cofagrigus, that way I can just kind of have a full stop to Diggersby with Will-O-Wisp, Hex, Pain Split, and Haze, able to cripple the Diggersby. I mean, yeah, it can kind of set up on me, like I can't actually hit it with anything besides Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split, but at the same time, it's just kind of at a situation where we are at an impasse. Like, we can't hurt each other, but I can slowly get damage on him with Will-O-Wisp. He can Earthquake me, but I will Pain Split up, and basically I'll just make the Diggersby low enough to where anything can revenge go. Like I said, the breaking power is a big issue, so I just want to wear things down. Just max HP, max defense is what I need, and then Haze is this Pokemon's way of preventing Volcarona from setting up on me. And finally, I have a super bulky Mega Aerodactyl with Roost, Wing Attacks, Hone Claws, and Stone Edge. My Dual Stab takes out his team very, very nicely, so that's what I'm going to go for. Hone Claws is to boost my attack. If I can get that up, then I might just win right on the spot, to where, Stone Edge would actually be able to hit, and if Stone Edge hits from a +1 Mega Aerodactyl, something is going to go down. Like, nothing on his team can really take this thing on. I just have to hope that I can get a home clause up, and then I will be able to potentially completely sweep his team. And even if I don't, Adamant Wing Attack is still going to do a crap load to, like, Mega Venusaur, Kyurem Black, well, even though against Kyurem I'd probably go for Stone Edge. But, like, if I don't have to, if I don't want to risk Stone Edge missing, I can still just go for an Adamant Wing Attack, and that is going to do a ton of damage. So, yeah, that is the team. Let's just go ahead and hop right on over to the battle. Alrighty, here we are in the battle, and the first thing I'm noticing is that a level 1 Smeargle. So, considering that Carson is bringing a level 1 Smeargle, I learned two things. One, that he is going full-on Heat Carson mode, unpredictable, blah blah blah, and two, that Smeargle has guaranteed Endeavor, Stealth Rock, Sticky Web, and the fourth move can be a toss-up. I'm thinking it's probably... I don't know what that last move would be. It might be Extreme Speed to try to go for the Fear strategy. It might be Nuzzle to get a paralysis on something that's not Koko, Raichu, Swampert, or Nidoqueen. It could be... Actually, I'm not sure what that last move would be. Basically, there are three moves that I know he's going to have, and the fourth move is just kind of a toss-up. Either way, this Smeargle is going to be his lead, and so I'm sticking with my plan. I'm leading off with my anti-lead Koko, and he did bring the 4 threats that I was terrified of, as well as the 5th threat in the Mega Venusaur, so this will be a tough one, to say the least. But yeah, like I said, gonna end up leading off with my Koko as he leads off with his Smeargle. And if this was level 100 Smeargle, I would immediately go for the Nature's Madness. But considering this is level 1, Endeavor's gonna do a ton anyway, so I might as well just Brave Bird, break his Sash as he goes for the Spore in the electric terrain. Koko takes nothing, and as you'll see, I'll be able to knock that thing out with a U-turn. So yeah, just right off the bat, we are playing 5 against 6. I mean, I figured that Carson must have realized that his team was just so heat and so good that he knew that there was no chance I would be able to beat him 6v6. So he was like, you know what, Styx, I'll let you have this first Mon. Like, I know that, I mean, you're a good guy. Carson is definitely a good guy as well. Like, we're really good friends, so it's just kind of a... Yeah, he knew that I would have no chance 6v6, so he just kind of gave me the first Mon. And it's actually kind of funny that he spored my Koko in electric terrain, because Carson and I just kind of seem to have recently games where one of us just doesn't understand mechanics, because in the DGBA game that we had, I was wondering why Sludge Bomb was not super effective against Mimikyu, and I went on like a couple-minute rant about it before I realized that Ghost resisted poison, so it obviously would hit Mimikyu neutrally, and then Carson goes ahead and spores a Koko in electric terrain, so it's just kind of a... Neither of us understand game mechanics at all. Sorry if you can hear my chair squeaking. I really need to get a new one. This thing is driving me nuts. But yeah, so just start the game off 6-5. I mean, we take those, and I'm going to go straight into my Aerodactyl. I wanted to go into like my Swampert or something, but just basically Aerodactyl was the one that gave him the least amount of free switch-ins. And as he goes Diggersby, I'm going to go into my dedicated Cofagrigus switch-in as he goes for the Spike, and this is going to be super annoying, because I thought that I was done with hazards. Nope, Diggersby has spikes. He misses the Toxic as I'm able to burn him. But like I said before, Cofagrigus against Diggersby is just going to be an impasse, so yeah, we can't do much to each other. However, the fact that he has spikes means that he will be able to take advantage of that. So I'm going to go straight into my Aerodactyl as he does Toxic, hits the Aerodactyl this time on the switch, and now it's just kind of a, okay, what's going to go on? I'm going to go ahead and Mega Evolve and go for the Wing Attack just to try to figure out what this Diggersby is, and he has the frickin' Cheek Pouch and the Citrus Berry. So yeah, I mean, a normal Diggersby I would be much more easily able to deal with, and Chair, will you please stop squeaking? A normal Diggersby would be much easier to deal with, but nope. This is a Cheek Pouch Citrus Berry set that I actually had to look up whether or not Diggersby got recycled, because I was like, oh, please don't be recycled. But lo and behold, Diggersby gets recycled, so I'm betting that that's what this set is. I will not be able to beat it 1v1, and he will be able to use Toxic to wear me down while getting up spikes. And this is just kind of all kinds of bad for me. But now that I know that he does not have huge power, I'm going to go straight into my Koko to defog away these spikes, as they are super annoying for me. And he just goes for their cycle, is able to get his Citrus Berry back, and this is kind of a, well, crap. But either way, I'm going to go straight for the defog as he gets his spike up once again. I assume he was going for 3 layers before he wore down my Koko. And luckily this Koko is physical because I was talking to him after the game, and he ended up being a completely spadef version of Diggersby as he misses another Toxic. So yes, I'm a lucky and bad player. And I will be able to 2-hit KO him with Brave Bird in conjunction with the burn, as he did not go for the recycle, he just went for the Toxic to try to wear down my Koko, and I will be able to 2-hit KO this thing with Brave Bird. So yeah, I got a little bit lucky there, and by a little bit I mean very lucky, as Diggersby would have 1v1 me otherwise. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to expect anymore, as Kyurem's going to come in. I don't want this spike on the field. Tapu Koko's done its job. It's prevented hazards, and it's actually gotten 2 kills in the process, so it's done more than I expected. I'm going to leave my Koko in to sack it off, and now just go straight into my Swampert to get up my rocks, as, I mean, whatever Kyurem wants to go for, I'm not thinking it's going to be a physical Z variant, as that's the only variant that can one-hit KO my Swampert from full, and so I will just be able to take whatever hit, go for rocks. Swampert isn't even needed at this point in the game, as it doesn't beat anything 1v1 as he goes into his Venusaur. So now I'm going to pull the switch to my Cofagrigus, try to get a Will-O-Wisp off on this Venusaur, as that will be very nice for trying to wear this thing down. And I really wanted to double into my Aerodactyl, predicting the Volcarona, as he's already seen that I had Will-O-Wisp, but I just couldn't risk it. I couldn't risk Mega Arrow taking a Giga Drain plus Poison, and so I just go for the Wisp, makes the good play, goes into Volcarona, but now I still have my very high health Mega Arrow that I can go into, as he does go for the Quiver Dance, but really, I mean, at this point, the Toxic is actually kind of nice because I know I don't have to risk the Flame Body, I don't have to risk Stone Edge hitting, I can go straight for the Wing Attack and knock out this Volcarona. So that is one threat very much gotten rid of, but my Aerodactyl is low at this point. His Venusaur is going to come in. I want to scout out, see what type of set this is, and as I go for the Wing Attack, that does 56%, and yeah, he has Synthesis, so I know his game. He's just going to try to completely stall me out at this point because Toxic, and I'm just going to pull the switch to Cofagrigus, predicting the Synthesis. He is running low on those. He will be able to Leech Seed my Cofagrigus, but at this point I'm finally just going to be like, okay, enough is enough. I need to get some residual damage off on this Venusaur. I need to start wearing this thing down, as ultimately, like, while I can heal up with my Aerodactyl, I do have Incineroar that's going to be able to hit this thing for some decent damage, and I'm going to heal up my Cofagrigus with Pain Split, and slowly but surely, Venusaur will get worn down. He's going to go for the Giga Drain, as I actually take this turn to go straight for a Hex, just to try to get a little more damage on it. Basically, just get my Jirachi or Arrow in on a turn where he is forced to Synthesis, and I was kind of wanting to go for the Pain Split once again, but I decided that damage was a little bit more necessary. And plus, with the fact that Cofagrigus is as low as it is right now, it entices him to not bother predicting the Jirachi coming in, which is ultimately what I'm going to do. He's thinking like, okay, Cofagrigus is low, if I try to just Leech Seed, he will be able to heal back up, and Cofagrigus will still be annoying. So basically, like, Leech Seed will more than likely not be his play. If anything, Giga Drain will be his play because he doesn't want to waste a Synthesis either. So finally, knowing that Giga Drain is more than likely coming out, I'm going to go straight into my Rachi, and this is where Jirachi is going to do exactly what I need it to do. Iron Head is completely free. I'm just going to start going for that. I mean, at this point, it was just kind of a, okay, well, I do have outs. I don't want to try to make the plays. It was kind of like, okay, Carson's memeing, so I figured that even though I'm not memeing with my team, I might as well just kind of like, just see what happens with Rachi. It was just kind of a, okay, I'm, what did I describe myself as? I'm like if a 5-year-old found the Infinity Gauntlet. But basically, at this point, it's just kind of like, you know what, screw it, let's see what happens. I mean, 60%, it's in my favor. I'll eventually be able to wear this Venusaur down, as he does miss a Leech Seed, as I don't get a flinch 2 turns in a row, so it's like, where's that 60% at? But I do need one more flinch, as, again, I don't get it. I'm not getting the flinches exactly when I need it. I'm just getting very sparse in between, and so it's like, oh man, am I actually going to have to try to think and make plays? But nope, I get a flinch on this Venusaur. I believe I need one more in order to knock this thing out, so I go for the Iron Head, and I get the flinch. So I finally get the double flinch, as I am going to be able to knock out this Venusaur with Iron Head. And yeah, Carson's missed 2 Toxics and a Leech Seed that is Very, very unfortunate, but you know what? We take those. We take out the Mega Venusaur, who was a huge nuisance otherwise. And at this point, he brings in Hoopa. I figured that if he's Scarf, he's going to try to predict the Incineroar coming in. He actually just goes for the Power-Up Punch, which is why I was sacking off my Cofagrigus. And now he goes for the Hyperspace Fury. I will be able to go into my Incineroar at this point, and even if he is the Tanga Berry, I will be able to knock that thing out because of the minus defense, as he actually ends up being the Tanga Berry, goes for Chople, or goes for Drain Punch. It pops my Chople, only does like 19%. And because of the defense drop, I am able to 1-hit KO the Hoopa, and at this point, it's pretty much GG, as I will be able to go into my Jirachi. I have no idea what this Kyurem's investment is, so I'm just going to try to figure that out, as he actually ends up having Protect, and so I was kind of like, oh boy, this is unfortunate, because if this is like a super bulky Kyurem, which it actually ends up being, it is a max Kyurem, it's going to be a lot harder to wear down with Iron Head, especially if he has Protect as well. I mean, I still have Low Kick on my Incineroar, I can still burn it with my Swampert, I can knock off its leftovers, I can then Low Kick it, I can Stone Edge it with Mega Arrow. Just basically at this point, it's like, okay, well, I have outs, but you know what? I have never had the chance to go for, like, the Para-Flinchrachi at this point. Like, I've never really done that. So first of all, missed the first flinch, which is unfortunate. But then I go for the Wish as he goes for Earth Power and gets the, I believe it's the max possible roll right there. He gets a he gets the max roll as my Wish is lingering. And at this point, it's like, okay, he's para'd. I can flinch him. He also has to get a max roll. So basically the amount of stuff he has to get in order to knock out Jirachi at this point is very in my favor. So I go for the Iron Head, just pray for the flinch as he breaks through completely, goes for Earth Power, and it does not knock me out. So at this point it's just like, okay, screw it. I'm just going to start going for Iron Heads. I need 2 more flinches. I get 1. Now I need 1 more to seal up the game with my Jirachi. As he goes for Protect, that's good. That's a good play. He's going to end up wearing out my Iron Heads sooner than later, and I go for it. I need 1 more to win the game. He is parried as well, and I don't get it. So, yeah, I'll tell you my flinch rate at the end of the game, as I did predict that he was going to go for the Protect right there. So I just went for a Wish in case he wanted to go for Earth Power or something, as now my Wish does come back to me. We are both at full health. I'm going to go for the Wish once again. Just try to maybe wear down his Earth Powers, just kind of put myself in a position where it's like, okay, well, if he manages to stall me out of Iron Heads, then I still have a chance to win the game. And, like, again, I have outs with a very high health Incineroar and Aerodactyl, and Adamant Aerodactyl with Stone Edge. So, I mean, I have outs. I just figured that, you know what, let's go for Flinchrachi, see what happens. He goes for Ice Beam over Earth Power on that turn, which is interesting. I guess he wanted to save his Earth Powers. But at this point, I need 2 more flinches. I go for the full Para, go for the Iron Head again, as he does get full para'd, and unless he gets a double Protect through Para, we will be able to win the game, but he doesn't even go for that. He just lets me knock out his Kyurem, and Flinchrachi comes all the way through. Like I said, I did have outs in my Incineroar and Aerodactyl, but honestly, I just wasn't feeling like... I just wanted to see how far a Flinchrachi could take me. Like, could I actually end up winning the game off Flinchrachi? Like, as you guys saw, I still had knockoff and low kick on Incineroar. This was a very bulky Kyurem, so he couldn't knock me out with Earth Power. And considering he was para'd, I would have gotten both the knockoff and the low kick off. So, I mean, I still had the game, but it was just kind of funny to go into this and be like, alright, I am not planning on Flinchrachi, like, that was not my intent at all, and that's exactly what ended up happening. So, yeah, good game to Carson. I think if he had actually brought a serious team, it would have been much easier to deal with, but, I mean, the heat that he brought was actually just absolutely amazing. Like, that was really incredible, especially that Diggersby set. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is Styx, signing out. Why not? See you guys.